Back to other court matters now for the 5 men charged with the murder of soccer star Senzo Meyiwa. A new witness is expected to take the stand. And just last week, the trial had focused on police officers who were present at the crime scene. The defense argues the crime scene was tampered with, contaminated, and evidence even planted. Our reporter, Moloko Moloto, is in court and brings us the very latest. Let's get a hold of him now. And Malume, good to have you back with us. And let's give context to what exactly happened in court last week. Some evidence being brought forward, all suggestions being made that the crime scene may have been tampered with.
Good morning, Rahadi Tumelo Mtotwane. Well, the past week and the week before last week, the focus really was more about the work that has been done by the police, those who arrived first at the scene and those who arrived at the scene to do the investigations. They have been really being questioned in terms of how they conducted themselves. But also there was talk about the gun that had been confiscated from accused number 3, Mr. Mthobisi Mncube, who was arrested as well in Malvern, in the area of Germiston. When he was arrested, he was being sought with regard to a separate murder case, and they found him in possession of a gun. We heard already that the serial number of that particular gun has been filed off, and we also heard from the police officer who arrested him when he responded to a question in court already asked by the defense lawyer Charles Mnisi as to whether there was a link between that particular gun found in possession of Mthobisi Mncube and the crime that happened in Vosloorus that resulted in the killing of the Bafana captain Senzo Meyiwa. And the response there was there is no connection. If there was any, he would have known. Now, the police, obviously, when they investigated the scene, we already heard that they arrived at the scene. 2 constables and the 2 trainee constables, they arrived at the crime scene. Instead of securing it, cordoning it off and protecting it to ensure that it is not contaminated and compromised, they decided to leave to go to hospital, and they left that particular crime scene with the uncle to Kelly Khumalo, Mr. Temba Khumalo, and they returned hours later, and that was when they cordoned it off. We also heard from Mr. Sergeant Thabo Musia, who is the first police officer to actually do the investigation, because those other 4, their duty was really to guard and man the crime scene. So Musia, when he arrived, he had to do the thorough investigations, and he told the court that he was actually called to the crime scene 4 hours after the crime had happened, and he believed that the crime scene might have been compromised. But Tumelo, there has been developments. eNCA's Manqoba Mchunu has this weekend managed to go to the family of the Meyiwa in KwaZulu-Natal in Umlazi. And that's when he managed to speak to the brother of the late Senzo Meyiwa, Mr. Sfiso Meyiwa, who believes that the 5 men who are in the dock on trial for his brother's killing are actually innocent men. He is of the opinion that there was never an intruder in that Khumalo house, and he argues that actually the people who were with Senzo Meyiwa in the house know the truth. They know exactly who killed Senzo Meyiwa, and that has been the argument by the defense lawyers, who are arguing that there was never any intruder. And we have heard already from Zandile Mshololo, a lawyer for one of the 5 accused, also insisting that there was never any intruder, and also bringing it to the fore in court that there is a second docket that the NPA is in possession of, and it intends to charge those people who were in with Senzo Meyiwa. But let's listen to Senzo Meyiwa's brother when he was speaking with Manqoba Mchunu.
Ba innocent ngasho kwaseqaleni yona phela into yaze sixabanisa no Mr Nel ngimtshela ngithi Mr Nel labantu aba-innocent wathi nayi labantu ba-involve ngathi nayi ngaze ngaphuma athi ngiyaphuma kunina mina ukuthi niyasixhasa kanjani ngamane ngiphume ngeke ngilibele ukuxhaswa abantu abangayikholwa into engiyishoyo ngoba phela sezala ngoba thina sasibona uGininda uyena behind land obopha labafana ngoba efihla i-cover up u-2020 statement labafana bazilutho baqale ukathiwa labafana bapromise imali bathenjisa imali omunye wathiwa ngazi 300,000 omunye ngazi noma basi 3 million ama-families angakutshela.
Yeah, and definitely there we can hear Moloko, the brother, saying that they were promised money, almost insinuating they were bribed to give the evidence that they were granted. I suppose we'll have to wait to see what the courts find in terms of what the truth is with that new witness expected today, Malume. But we leave it there for now, but thank you so much for giving us this breakdown. That's Moloko Moloto outside court. This is where we're expecting the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial to continue today with a new witness on the stand. And of course, as we continue to let this case unravel right in front of our eyes right here on eNCA.